So, yesterday I did a video about the lies that have been told about the North Dakota Access Pipeline. Now, I'm still sticking to the fact that a lot of what I said in that video are lies. However, a lot of people, particularly the first point I pointed out, that the main lie that is being told by the protesters is that the pipeline itself is going through the reservation and that it is going through an area where the Indian tribes live. This is not true. The area itself, from what I know, is what they call unceded land. Now, this itself has a very long and incredibly complicated history. The land itself has been repurposed before, and repayments to the Indians have been made. Now, what's even more complicated about this is that this cannot be heard in a court of law. This has to go to Congress. So my even initial people that are going through this, that are taking this to court, they are not trying this on the treaty reservations where this land is supposedly guaranteed. They are instead trying it under the, I think it's called UNESCO Act, which is Universal National Heritage Site, whatever. And it's designed to protect historical places, historical sites of, importance. As I said in my last video, the pipeline itself does not, or has not, disturbed any burial mounds. They have not unearthed any remains of any sort. This, if you think that is true, that is a lie. They have not unearthed any such a thing or found any burial mounds. That is simply not true. What is clear from this, certainly looking more into it yesterday, is that this is just an entire basically mess that resolves to basically it's an unresolved treaty thing. Now, what's surprising is that the Indians have a trust fund that is worth $1.3 billion, or it's a ridiculous amount that they have access to, and yet they refuse to take it. Now, you can say that, they're not going to take it for, principles, but there's so much potential good they could actually do with that money for themselves, and I don't understand why they don't take it. If I was, one of those tribesmen, I'd be like, hey, there's this money sitting there, why aren't we using this money? Because there is so much, again, they could do. And remember, most Indian tribes are living below the poverty line. That's a fact. Now, I'm not saying, they should just take the money and shut up, but there is a lot they could actually do. How about they take that money and all that, unceded land, why not just buy it? Why not just... It would make so much sense for them to go out and just buy the land and then just own it lock, stock and barrel. And then there'll be no more issues. But, it's probably far more complicated than that. I'm willing to bear that in mind. But, to be honest, it is just an entire, to me, what seems to be ridiculous. And if Congress goes the path that they have done before, the Indians are going to receive compensation for that land, which basically means even more money is probably going to end up in that trust fund. So, yeah, it's an entirely ridiculous thing that basically just doesn't seem to have been sorted out. And that's essentially where it lies, essentially. I listened to the TYT Politics, where one of the guys talked to a lawyer who was knowledgeable on that, and he summed it up perfectly. It is just an entirely complex situation that it basically boils down to. It's an unresolved treaty. So I hope that pleases a couple of people. However, I still think that the original video I did, where I've talked about the lies that a lot of the environmental protesters have put out, are still lies. So there you go.